Hey, it's EG. Welcome to the audio version of the Be Yourself Marketing newsletter. And if you haven't checked out the podcast yet, there are real conversations with entrepreneurs just like you, and they're building on their own terms because your best marketing strategy is the one you were born with. Find it wherever you listen. Now, let's get into the newsletter. 45 feet. Exactly, 45 feet. That's how far I moved the trailer this weekend. Same trailer, same mud, same unfinished property. But the second I sat down to work this morning with the sunrise coming through the tent side, it felt like my nervous system unclenched. And it feels like a completely different place to live. Through the tent now, I get the sunrise. I never had that before. And on the other side, the sunset. And out the kitchen window, there's nothing but tree line and pasture. It's wide open and completely quiet. Now, the unfinished barn, the construction chaos, the driveway and gate that seem to collect water even when the sky just thinks of rain, they're still there. I just don't have any windows facing that direction anymore. It's the same mess. I'm just looking at it differently. And I've been sitting with that because it's what most of us get wrong when we're stuck, isn't it? We're trying to fix the view instead of just moving the trailer. So when something isn't working, the instinct's to fix it, isn't it? Fix the offer, the website, fix the copy, the funnel, fix yourself. And sometimes that's right. Sometimes that thing genuinely needs fixing, but most of the time, the setup's fine. You're just aimed at the chaos. So you're doing the work at the kitchen table while the kids are home. Or maybe you're trying to think strategically during those few minutes between meetings. Or you're writing your newsletter in the same headspace you use for your job. You're staring directly at everything that's unfinished and wondering why you can't get momentum. The problem isn't always what you're doing. Sometimes it's what you're facing. Here's what repositioning in business looks like. It's not a pivot. It's not a rebrand. And it's certainly not starting over. It's smaller than that, a lot smaller, and usually faster. Move your work block to before the house wakes up instead of after it quiet down. Try writing one-to-one specific person instead of everyone, aka my audience. Turn so the noise is behind you and the only thing that you actually want is in front of you. None of those are actual fixes. Nothing got repaired. You just stopped giving attention out the wrong thing. And no, that's not the same thing as turning your back on it altogether. So let's be clear about something here. The barn's still unfinished. The driveway's still a mess. I still need to sort out water and a proper place to live. None of that got solved by moving 45 feet. But I'm not staring at it from the kitchen window while I'm trying to think. And that's not the same as ignoring it. The list is the same. The deadlines are the same. I just stopped letting the chaos be the backdrop to every quiet moment I have. Because those quiet moments are exactly where the thinking happens that'll let me actually deal with things. Same problems, different position, completely different capacity to handle them. And there's the part that I didn't plan for. Maybe that's why this whole idea of repositioning hit me harder than usual this weekend. Because while I was moving the trailer, another kind of move was happening too. Mama Mia's house sold this week. Now, she passed almost 2 years ago. The house is where she and my dad lived the longest. It's a 4,000 square foot chapter of our family's life, 30 plus years of nooks and crannies and things quietly stashed so they're out of the way. Now, I have until July 31st to pack it, move what I can, and hand the keys over to someone else. So here's the math. Even when there's a cabin or a tiny house built on this property, it won't be more than 400 square feet. So most of what's at my mom's doesn't come with me. Most of it's going to get donated, sold, thrown out, just simply let go. And here's the other thing July 31st means. Up until now, there's been a fallback plan. The house, if it got too cold in the trailer, or hot running water if I actually wanted to take a proper shower. A plan B that I never said out loud, but always knew was there, that's gone now. The bridge is burning. And I'll be honest with you, there were a couple of moments this week where I just sat there and I started staring at the barn and the driveway and my broken water barrels thinking, what if I'm actually in over my head here? Not inspirational or brave, just tired enough to finally admit the pressure feels real now. Not because I've chosen to go all in, but all in is the only option left. So readiness doesn't come first. Sure, we'd like to tell ourselves we'll go all in when we feel ready. That's not how it works. Readiness doesn't show up before the back door closes. It shows up after. Maybe the reason plan A still feels shaky is because part of you never actually left plan B. Maybe you're still checking job postings at night, still keeping that one client because losing them feels a little too scary, still taking another course instead of putting your work into the world where it can actually be judged. We all call it being responsible, but sometimes it's just fear without better branding. But the feeling doesn't come first. It comes from the removing. I keep waiting for a moment where this all suddenly feels smart, and it hasn't happened yet. Most days, it still feels more like falling than flying. But maybe that's what commitment's supposed to feel like before it turns into confidence. I didn't move the trailer because I had a perfect plan. I moved it because the wind was going to take down the tent, and the water built up from the 5 feet from the door, and staying put just didn't actually make sense or was very safe anymore. The better view was just a surprise, and isn't that usually how it goes? So here's what I want to ask you. What part of your life are you still calling a backup plan, when deep down you already know it's the reason you haven't fully moved on yet? Is it the job you're hanging on to, the client you can't quite fire, the course you're taking instead of launching, the plan B that lets you not quite fully commit to plan A? Now, I'm not saying blow it all up today. I'm not saying that, but I am saying notice it. Notice the safety net might be the thing holding you in the wrong position. Nothing actually changed, but somehow everything felt lighter the second I stopped staring directly at the mess. That's it. No breakthrough, no master plan, just 45 feet in a different direction. So now, tell me, what would you reposition if you stopped trying to fix the view first? Make it a great moving week.